lot of fees. You get a lot of favors with places where you're shooting scenes at, where people do you a favor and let give you their bar or their lounge or their apartment or their Airbnb. You got to make the most of that shit. Yeah. I got the movie. I've been working on for a while, man. Definitely want to shout out my film. The Stuff comes out, man. I've been working on this film for a while called The Stuff. It finally drops July 20th. I'm doing it on Vimeo on demand. I had a couple other deals on the table, but I wanted to do it this way. I wanted to release it the independent way before I take the other multiple streaming platforms. And the film is dope, man. It combines action, comedy, drama, suspense. It has all the little elements that I like in film. I hate when you watch a movie and the bad acting is in it, and then you can figure out everything that's going to happen. There are a lot of things in my film where it takes turns where you didn't see that was going to happen. And I got a nice cast. I pulled some performances for some actors that you guys are going to be surprised. Charlie Baltimore, she got a dope thing in my film. I did the first film that the boxing champ, my man Danny Garcia, the boxer, is in my film. It's his first world premiere. I think I got him hooked to doing movies now. Michael Blackston makes a classic appearance in the film. Got my man Gary Sturgis. A lot of people know from working with Tyler Perry in a lot of his films and the movies Daddy's Little Girl and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. My man Tobias Trufelin, who's killing in Equal Standard right now. A lot of my man Al Thompson from Money Doesn't Mean a Thing. Is that? Is that the movie with Nick Cannon?
Yeah, him and Christina Milian.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and so the movie's dope. It's going to be a classic. It's about circumstance. Two guys go around doing some shit that they shouldn't be doing, and they cross paths with these crooked cops, and they get involved when they grab this bag. And one thing I made sure that I didn't want to do is glorify anything. There are circumstances that happen in life economically when people need a means. And sometimes you go down the wrong path trying to achieve those means. Mm-hmm. And my whole film is about backtracking when you take that wrong choice and how you can lose everything trying to gain anything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Talk about the process behind it, because correct me if I'm wrong, this movie is supposed to come out for some time. So what kind of hurdles would you have to go through?
Let me tell y'all motherfuckers this. Let me tell y'all something. Anybody that's sitting there watching this shit and you want to do an independent film, I am not discouraging you. Do independent films. I said fuck Hollywood. I mean, I love Hollywood, but I said fuck Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way on this. And when you do the independent way, you have to raise money. And let me tell you, trying to raise money from other people is one of the hardest things that you can fucking do. You know what I mean? People are behind you, and so when it comes time to write that check, you know what I mean? You're gonna get a lot of no return phone calls, no emails, exchange emails. You know what I mean? So what I did is I said, getting that money together, acquiring that money is the first step, and then doing pre-production is the next step, where you take that money that you have and you use the means the right way. And the thing is, in independent films, people don't give you money because of who you have in a film or the script. They give you money because they believe in you. They trust you. They believe that you're going to get to the goal. That's the first step. They don't want to, you get to, hey, read the script. Bottom line is that if they fuck with you, they're going to fuck with you. And that's how I was able to get the money, as well as the money that I put in myself. Okay. And going the independent way, man, you guerrilla in a lot of things. I mean, you have permits to shoot, but it's a lot of other shit that you got to try to cheat and do and to get in. You know what I mean? You get a lot of fees. You get a lot of favors with places where you're shooting scenes at, where people do you a favor and let give you their bar or their lounge or their apartment or their Airbnb. You got to make the most of that shit. You got to be professional. One thing I learned is being an executive producer and a writer of this project, you're a leader of men. Mm-hmm. And people follow your lead with what you do. They look in your eyes and they see on set, does he know what he's doing? And you have to motivate people, because they definitely, in an independent film, they aren't doing it for the money. They're doing it because they believe that that project is going to be dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So every day I was on time. We were professional. I try to make my cast as comfortable as possible. I had a dope caterer. on set, you want to make sure people are eating good. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be filming for 3-4 hours and you're about to take break and then you ordering giving somebody cold pizza or a turkey sandwich. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to have some mac and cheese, salad, some protein, a smoothie if you need, whatever. I'm providing that so that the second half we're shooting with motivation. You know what I'm saying? So all of that, when you do all of that and you put the movie together, I knew the movie was dope when we were looking at the dailies. You know, you shoot, you look at the scenes that you shot, and you go, oh, yeah. You're like, yo, this is going to be dope. And so many people don't think that I could do it. Because I'm not going to lie. I watch a lot of other people's movies, and the shit is trash. It's garbage. It's horrible. I don't want to say that. I want other directors to be dope with their movies so that other people will want to see any movie that's out. Just like I want all comedy shows to be good so that people want to go to the comedy club. So when you see your dailies and you see how dope the shit is, you like, yo, this shit is coming together dope. But I ran out of, after the movie was shot, you go into pre-production. I ran out of money during pre-production. This shit is expensive as hell. So I had to gather all of this money to get me through the production. And then my audio was fucked up. I had to get the audio redone. I mean, the devil was really popping his head up at different points. Every time you was taking 2 steps forward, it was a 3rd step back. You know what I mean? But I mowed through it, and plowed through the whole thing to get this shit done. I remember sometimes on set, right? Let me give you a couple of things that happened on set. I remember one time we were shooting a scene, and this is when Charlie Baltimore and Gary Sturgis, I flew them in to get ready to shoot the evening scene. It was an evening scene. So we shot the day scene. Though we shot the day scene, I was waiting for our car to come with our car that we had for the next scene, and it had our materials in it. And the car was 2 hours late, and I'm asking my AD, I'm like, yo, where's the car at? All the PAs. The car got pulled over by the cops on the way to the set because the guy didn't signal when he made a turn. And when they pulled out his license, they checked the car. And in the back, there was a bunch of kilos of fake cocaine and guns in the back. So it made it look like those were props that we were coming to the set, but it made it look like the drivers were on their way to a buy and bust type of situation. Like they were getting a full major weight. Okay. So they didn't believe the excuse. So they arrested the dudes, took them down to the precinct, and checked each bag of flour or cornmeal, whatever we had it is, to make sure that it was really fake. And then they sent 3 detectives on the set because they asked the guys, where were y'all going? And 3 detectives showed up on set. And this was one time I was so fucking happy that one of the cops knew me. He was like, oh, Rob Stapleton, love your work, man. He was trying to act like he was just coming by to say hi, but he was coming to make sure we was really filming and shit. And they never seemed, I'll say real quick, Charlie Baltimore, we had a scene where they were coming on set. So after that, you think everything's going to be cool. The shit got worse. We had nowhere to shoot. The next scene we were supposed to shoot was in Staten Island. And I didn't want to move the cast and crew to Staten Island. That would have been a few hours to go and do the lighting. So we were looking for another place. And the director's friend lived on this block in Harlem. And he let us use his brownstone. And in his brownstone, in this scene, I don't want to give away what Charlie Baltimore does in this scene, but there's something physically that she does in this scene that was taxing. And it was borrowing, could bother the neighbors that was below. And we just had to get through that because if you make too much noise in a situation and the cops come and you don't have permit, you could be in trouble. You know what I mean? So these are the things that you have to go through when you're shooting independent. You know what I'm saying? And I think when people see the final product, they're going to love it.
Now distribution, how's that set up? Did you get that beforehand for people who are aspiring to do that? How's that work in independent films?
Well, that's a whole other thing. That's a dope question. That's another thing that you have to set up when you go independent or with anything. You have to distribution. You know, people think right away Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. Those are the big dogs. You know, Apple coming in. Then you have your lower ones. You have the Tubies. You have the Pluto and all of these other ones. I have a sales agent that was pushing all of that. But what I wanted to do, I said, they give you offers and you do this and you do that. Then they want to hold this for a certain amount of time. I really wanted to go. I started this independent. I really wanted to cross the line independent with this. And I really wanted to go the Vimeo way. The Vimeo way gives you a big cut of the portion of your film. Some of these shits like Amazon, you deal with them, they give you pennies off of a view. So you look and you see you got a couple of thousand of views, but you're only getting like 2 cents for every view that you get. You talking about being exploited. You know what I'm saying? So I bet on myself during this whole procedure. I decided to still bet on myself and do this the Vimeo way, which you would get 90% of what you get.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Of what you do. You know what I'm saying? But you get what you kill. So the people, you got to do the work to get people to come to Vimeo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing now. People go on my Instagram. You go on my Instagram at Rob Stapleton. I got trailers up. I got the links where people can go and check out the trailer. I got the pre-order up. I'm going to look in the camera and I want to thank all of the people that took advantage of the pre-orders. For Black people to pay money in advance. You know how hard it is to get money in advance from our people. We'll hold on to that shit to the last minute. You know what I'm saying? It might rain that day. Oh, you're going to be home watching the movie. But I'm sad. You know what I mean? But people have pre-ordered the movie anticipating the release on July 20th. And those are like my super fans that have just done it, or people that just really love the trailer and said, yo, this looks dope. I'm going to fuck with it. So the debut, the premiere of the film, the world premiere is July 20th. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited as hell about that shit, man. I'm excited. You know, I'm mad, right? I had a show in Atlanta Tuesday. I had a show yesterday, and I turned it down, and it was with 50 Cent. It was 50's birthday yesterday.
Oh, man.
And I was really doing some other shit, and it would have been a great time for me to build with 50. And he probably would have promoted the movie for me on his platform, which would have made it instantly go gold on the street. You know what I'm saying? With 50 saying something hot, that's how his influence is. So those are the moments where if you're in the right place at the right time, but when you're not, you still do the work anyway. It is funny because I went on a social media, my boys Smokey and my man Marshall, who did the show, and I see them all hugged up with 50 other pictures. And I'm like, oh, that should have been me. That should have been me.
Damn, man. Well, look,
but
man,
we
definitely appreciate it.
50 and hear about the movie on the street and come to me anyway. You know what I mean? So
we got the stuff right now on Vimeo. Y'all go check that out. Please send the people, have your people send us the link so that we can that as well, man.
Yeah, I'll have her send it to your guys, man. All right?
Absolutely.
All right, cool, man. Yo, keep kicking ass to what you're doing, man. Hip Hop Uncensored, man. The podcast is off the chain. Keeping open channels between the artists and your audience, man. Salute to your brothers, man. All right?
Definitely.
Thank you for having me on.
Appreciate having you, brother. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Y'all be good. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.